Welcome to Car Scene with Dean, episode 22. And today I have my co-host, Darrell Noble.
Thank you for having me back, Dean.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
You know, I'm way on the west side over there, so.
Whereabouts on the west side?
South Lyon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that by Ohio?
Yes, no. It's almost in the Great Lakes over there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to get out there sometime.
Yeah.
Never get an
come by
invite.
and check it out.
Yeah.
No, everybody's welcome.
Oh, yeah. Everybody says that, but then when you say, I'm on my way out.
Oh, no.
Hey, I'm busy right now.
Well, I tend to be gone a lot.
I'm
kind of all over the place.
During the swap meet season.
Yeah.
You're gone a lot.
Yeah, well, and then, we'll put that out there for everybody's listening. I guess there's 2 swap meets coming up, too. So.
Oh, that's right. There's one out
you got
Jackson,
Novi
right?
and Jackson.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in Royal.
Were you really?
I was.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Not a lot.
Now, how'd you end up out? This will be another show. Questions about
See, now he's getting good.
Yeah,
see, he's getting those interview questions.
Yeah.
Excuse me, you said you were done.
Yeah. Okay. And this will be your last show.
Yeah. Introduce our cast.
Okay, I will. So today I have Ruben.
Corvarrubies.
Okay.
Corvarrubies.
And I have Livi.
Livi Cancel.
Livi Cancel. Welcome, guys, for coming out. Thank you
for having us.
Yes, for sure. So we're going to talk. This show's going to be about lowriders, the lowrider scene in Michigan and Detroit, and we're going to be talking about their cars, and we'll even throw a couple things in about your truck. That's a low rider truck, right?
Yeah. I don't consider it maybe more of a mini truck.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess more or less, but yeah.
All right.
But
yeah.
I definitely take some keys from that culture as well. So. Yeah.
And also joining us is Angelo. He's on the phone. Angelo.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great.
Good.
Glad
Good.
to still be vertical.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Same here.
That's right.
Yeah. So we'll be talking to Ruben, Angelo, and Livi about the scene in Detroit with the car scene. Now, Angelo, he was part of getting the Friday Night Flex together, right? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to say a little bit about Ruben. He has a 1966 Chevy Impala, right?
65.
65?
65.
No, I thought the 65 had the round taillights on the back.
It does.
Yeah.
I thought you had the straight.
No.
No, really?
You probably saw a side shot of the car with the trim that wraps around and looks like the lights.
Exactly. Sorry about that. 65 is my favorite year.
But apparently
Yeah. You know, a buddy of mine has a 65 Impala SS he had in high school. He still owns it. Convertible. I think it has the 327 in it.
Okay.
Air-conditioned car.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. And,
You don't know.
Neither do I.
It's in his garage just buried, and he always talks about restoring it. You know, he's in his 50s now, and he's had that car since high school.
Yeah.
And I always tell him, you got to get that thing out of there, you know.
Wow.
But anyways, you're also in the Rollerz Car Club, Rollerz Only Car Club. And like I said, you're one of the guys that started the Friday Night Flex along with Angelo.
Yes.
And you were in the service,
Yes.
the military.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Oh, I dropped my notes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it takes a few minutes. Oh, I'll be right back.
Dean
So-
left the building.
Well, I'll talk about your car for a minute if you don't mind. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved that body style for one. You know, the 65, 66. So,
Oh, yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And then I've never seen your car in the day, I think. You know, because when I showed up to Flex this year, it was always it was later in the year, and then it was at night. And we were only there maybe 3 times.
Mhm.
So, but man, the paint on the roof is gorgeous. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. Who did that paint?
A guy named Joe Prado out of El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
Now, I seen your car when I first met you at the Hooderites Friendsgiving.
Oh, yes.
That's when I met you out there. And that car sitting in the light was just stunning. Crazy how the paint job on it is just like glass.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's a beautiful car.
Yeah, it was painted by Joe Prado, and then a cousin of mine out of San Diego
Oh, cool.
did that. Believe it or not, that paint job is over 7 years old, 8 years old, something like
8
that.
years
really?
old? Yeah.
And so my cousin did the paint correction on it.
Okay.
And ceramic coating and all that to really make the clear coat pop, you know, after
Yeah.
all these years.
Wow.
Now, did you say, is that car from Michigan or is that from California?
No. I bought it when I was in D.C.
Okay.
When I was stationed in D.C. and it was a Virginia car.
Okay.
I have it registered in California since I'm from California
Okay.
originally.
All right. So you have California plates on it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. Yeah.
Have you ever taken it back to California?
Not yet.
So if you did, would you drive it or trailer it?
Oh, no. It's got a 454 in it.
No shit.
So just driving from my house to the flex back eats
Oh.
up like $80 worth of gas.
Yeah, right, right.
So you're driving cross country then? That's what you're saying.
I would.
yeah,
It's reliable, yeah. It's just gonna suck for a while.
yeah, yes. So I'm going to ask Angelo. Angelo, what car do you have?
I have a 2000 Lincoln Town Car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is now
Green with a gold trim, gold wheels.
okay. I probably seen it in the videos. I watch Corey's videos.
Yes.
Yeah, about the Friday Night Flex. He does a nice job on those videos. Real good job.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome job.
Yeah. And I've seen Greg's car in there quite a bit all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, it does. I
Yeah.
like the lights underneath.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm gonna jump over to Livi now since we're done talking to you, Ruben. Okay, just for a little bit. Enough about you.
I'm used to it. I got kids.
Yeah, right.
We'll bring Angelo back too.
Yeah, we'll bring Angelo back.
Yeah.
So, Livi, your interest in cars. When did that all start? I mean, young age.
I'll be honest, as a little girl, I played with Hot Wheels instead of Barbies. I've always been a gearhead, always been the tomboy,
Yeah.
the female version of my dad's son.
Oh, nice, nice.
He doesn't have any sons, but I
Yeah.
took that part, so
Nice.
yes,
And you have a 55 Bel Air?
yes.
And did you buy it like that, or did you?
Actually purchased it in 2015.
Okay.
Painted, I've not touched the paint.
Wow.
That came that way. It is the original lineage. Went from, I have the original bill of sale when she bought it in 55.
Wow.
Wish I paid what she did for it. I have the same lineage that it went from Missouri to Peoria, Illinois, and then to my friend Tone, who purchased it for himself to turn into a lowrider.
Oh, nice.
He didn't even own it a year, and I bought it off of him.
Wow,
Yes.
nice. That's a beautiful car. Really nice.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then you've also named that car, haven't you?
Oh, that's
No,
right.
that came that way, believe it or
It
not.
did,
Yeah,
okay.
Sleepwalk came with it.
Yeah.
And I know the song, so
Yes.
it just fits it. So,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people call it Sleepwalker, but it is just truly Sleepwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I absolutely feel that it fits the car, so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to paint correct anything like that, change it. It is Sleepwalk.
Nice, very
And,
nice.
and that's the Santo and Johnny song, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's always been one of my favorites ever
That's
since.
the guitar.
Yes.
Yeah. Not slide guitar, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
you know.
about.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
is
yeah.
on my playlist, so I
Yes.
do play it when I cruise.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I met you at the Hood Rats
Yes.
at their show, and your car pulled in. Everybody's like, "Oh shit, look at this car!" And my buddy with his Packard, he backed up to your car.
Yep.
Yes,
know,
I
see-
love that shot.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
beautiful shot.
I love that
yeah,
shot.
Yeah, the cars went great together.
Shout out to
And-
Keith.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Keith Dombrowski. He's always he's been a co-host on here. He's in the Taints Car Club.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're both 55s.
That's right.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
is. Right.
Both 55s and both black and white.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that kind of like even fit more.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I thought about parking mine by yours, but it didn't want to fit. Little green bomb.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You have to have color.
Yeah.
I have hazel eyes, so I like color.
Yeah. Right. Right.
The other one I was going to ask, because I'm always a big fan of them, and I've kind of hunted around one for mine, maybe, I don't know. But the Continental kit, who put that on there?
Oh yeah.
That actually came that way, and believe it or not, here lately, that has been my nemesis.
Now, came
Really?
came that way.
It came that way from Peoria, Illinois. Tone
Really?
did not do that. It literally had worked the last time that I had taken it out most recently. I did a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And lovely, but I couldn't get it literally, the carrier pin
Yeah.
locked to the point where I had to have a friend come and cut it in 3 pieces. Then I had to find how the hell to fix it.
Well, but why'd you even take it off anyways?
No, it wasn't a matter. Well, I took it off because my stupidity. I was at a car show in Jackson last year, and the trunk lid fell and smacked the top of the Continental kit. So the friend is a painter.
Yeah.
And he did an awesome job on it. He took it. You can't even tell, and it did not. Because he's very particular, and the black literally just looks like glass. I didn't want to mess with it, so I told him. I said, "Well, Taco, you get to put it back on."
Right.
So that's who did it.
Okay.
Taco did it, and he did an awesome job.
But you had a flat the other night. That's what I was getting
Oh
at.
yes,
Yeah.
Lord.
Or a cracked rim. Which
No,
one
it was a flat, and that was my own fault. I usually am very pretty good about my tiger paws. However, I had not corrected my bushings. The upper and lower control arm bushings were done this year.
Okay.
So after that, I reversed and put those. The very outer tread was bald. And so needless to say, thankful for one of the guys. I went to AutoZone and he helped me get it plugged.
Nice.
Well, that's good. There you go.
Yes,
Yeah.
but now I know how to do it, and yes, that's in my tool bag.
Okay.
Nice. So, where are you originally from?
I'm from Southwest Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Yes, down by the Ambassador Bridge.
Wow.
If you've heard of St. Anne's Church, my grandparents, their home faced the courtyard.
Oh, really?
So one of the oldest churches in Detroit. I grew up down exactly where Friday Night Flex is held.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a St. Anne's Church right across the street here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a Catholic church.
Yes, the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. It's no longer a church. It's a basilica. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it
Whatever
became
that
a
is.
yes.
I don't know.
It's. I looked.
That's
into
another
it.
show.
Don't feel bad, I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
It was fun the one night where we were trying to come to Flex, and then I was in my truck, and then I ran into Marcioni,
Yes.
just all of a sudden. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm trying to go to the thing. He's like,
Did he do it like that?
Yeah, he did. yeah.
Dave, God love him. Yes, he would.
Yeah.
That was when you all came to hang out because I hadn't even had the car started yet. I was still in the garage.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I was wiping it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my girl's like,
Yes.
where are we going? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then we show up there, and she's like, whoa. I was like, yeah, me too, yeah.
We're going to Detroit.
Yes. Well, we were going to Detroit, but I mean,
It was just a roundabout way.
Yeah.
And then they got to come see me.
yeah, she had seen Dave's van, obviously,
Yeah.
before, and then, so Dave led me over to, her house, garage is open, car's sitting in there, so she was impressed by that. And then you went through your bike story, which we can talk about later,
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
anyways, that was fun. That was a fun way to
Good.
meet you.
I'm
You
glad.
know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have another question, Livia. So you're in the Lowriders.
Yes.
Is there any other women with Lowriders?
Actually, there's a few.
Is there?
April, she's a part of Dedication.
Okay.
She has a, I don't want to get it wrong. What year?
El Camino.
El Camino, but what year? It's like a.
What year, Angelo?
I'm not sure.
I want to say it's like in the 80s, and
Okay.
Is it a G body style?
yes,
Yeah, then
yes.
that's probably in the 80s,
And hers, I love the color. It's dedicated to her daughter, and Jacqueline.
Oh, I remember
Yes,
that. Yeah,
yes,
I
very
remember looking
nice,
at that
very
truck.
nice.
Yep.
I have been. I'm trying to think who else. My mom she has a Regal. Has had it for a while. I'm trying to think. I don't know that it's been at any show. She has worked on that for some time. As far as directly around me, that would probably be about the gist of low riding women.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes.
And so you're not in a club, right?
No, I don't like the politics of clubs,
Yeah.
so I will not join one. I feel I'm better being Switzerland, and I can hang out with you in this club or
Yeah,
this person.
right,
If
right.
you don't like that person, guess what? I get to come hang out and have a good night.
Right. Heck yeah. Very cool.
It's good philosophy. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The old, at least in the hot rod world, the old lone wolf plaque.
Yes,
You know what
yes.
I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Well, that, and I don't want, if my car is good enough to cruise with you,
Yeah.
and I'm not in a club, why do I have to do A, B, or C to
Right.
get into a
Right.
club
Right.
to my car? So my opinion, I don't like it.
So you would never think of starting a club for the women?
I would. I'm not sure. I've thought about it because
Yeah.
I'd like to, but I don't know how I would feel being tied to something like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like the freedom.
Run something like that
Yes,
too. Yeah.
yes.
Right. Right.
Well, the one you could, I don't know, get involved. I don't know those ladies that well, but throttle, the throttle go.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
yes.
they're pretty cool.
And I actually did a
Yeah.
show with them this year. Very nice. They actually had me in the SEMA building.
Yes.
We're going to put you inside. Wait, what? You're going to put me where?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Sleepwalk was very well attended.
Oh, yeah.
And they did great. So very, very nice. Literally, like, I was somebody there.
Right.
April had the opportunity as well, but unfortunately she had to work. She couldn't get there in time.
Okay.
But she was invited as well. We were both supposed to be next to each other,
Yeah.
parked in there.
And that's a beautiful building to display.
Oh my
too.
gosh, yeah. I was actually
Yeah.
like waiting to see, like, am I going to have any oil leaks? I didn't
it's all poly floor, whatever
Yes,
they call
yes,
it. Don't worry about
very
it. They
nice.
can pop it right
I
off.
know,
Yeah.
but it's just like I don't want
Yeah.
my car being in there being that,
Yeah.
oh my God, Libby brought that car and left an oil spot. No.
Yeah. Hydro oil?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
actually, I did have a little bit because I had a cylinder leaking on the driver's side.
Okay.
So I did get under there, and I think someone even has photos. But I did take a towel and I cleaned my mess.
Yeah. Now you said it's the SEMA building?
Yes,
Where's that at?
in Plymouth.
Yep.
Oh, because when you say SEMA, I'm thinking Vegas.
No.
I
so,
thought the same. Yes,
It's the same.
I thought the same as
Yeah.
far as being out
Right,
west.
right.
Yeah.
But no, it actually was a very nice industrial type building, and literally I felt like an idiot with the oil because you could pretty much eat off the floor I just drove
Yeah,
on.
that'd be
So,
fine.
That probably happens all the time though there.
Do you want a synopsis of the SEMA building? Just
Pardon
real
me?
quick. A quick synopsis of what
Yeah,
it is?
yes.
Okay, so what it is so I tend to follow SEMA and things like that, but actually the more side where they deal with the government and everything. So what they did with that facility, if you guys don't know about it, they built that facility here in the outskirts of Detroit to deal with the OE. And then what they're doing is they're opening, it's for the OE to work with the aftermarket. So
Oh.
let's say Edelbrock comes out with a supercharger, just for example, or one of the suspension companies comes out with something, then you can ask them to come over. The OE will supply a vehicle. They will install those parts on there, and then that way they can figure out if it would stay within their warranty parameters and stuff like that. Because
Okay.
you hear a lot about guys getting superchargers for Mustangs, Camaros installed at dealerships, just as an example. So that's a way for the aftermarket parts industry to work with the OE instead of working against them, and then still fall underneath like EPA rules. So that way the EPA can't come after the aftermarket guys.
All right.
very
So
well.
it's
Okay.
actually a really cool facility, and they're using it for training and everything else.
Okay.
And it was pretty cool. They had that show that I didn't make it there. Some of our friends did.
Yeah.
But
It was a very nice show, and actually, when I
yeah.
pulled up, I was quite surprised at how many were already there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was actually invited there by Jen Beagle, who is a Chick's Eye View. She does
Yeah.
a lot of photography for us.
Yeah.
And awesome photographer. She had invited me, and when I got there, I was like, wait, where am I going to go? So it was actually really cool. That was
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in May. That was
Yeah,
back in
nice.
May.
Yep. So another way of bringing the lowriders in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And mix them with everything else.
Well, that was very interesting stories. Thank you, Livy.
Thank
I
you.
drew a blank from it. Yes, we'll get back to you because I want to hear that story you had about
Oh,
Rama.
about Rama.
Yeah, we were talking.
So we're going to switch over to Ruben and Angelo. I've had a couple drinks, so yeah, Ruben and Angelo. Yeah, so Ruben, over the weekend you guys put on a toy drive.
Damn, how much did you drink?
God, I don't know. I think it's the pizza. A toy drive. You guys put on a toy drive downtown?
Yes. So my club, Rollerz Only
Yeah.
APA chapter, we put on a toy drive every year. This is our third annual. And the concept is a Christmas party for all the lowriders, the lowriders and friends. if you
Right,
will.
right.
So we put on this party. My chapter funds, free food, games.
Wow.
We provide the venue, everything.
Mhm.
What we ask is everybody that attends to bring a toy or toys to donate, and those toys go to the less fortunate children in Detroit.
Okay.
So that happened this past Saturday. Last year, we had about $10,000 worth of toys donated.
Awesome.
102 people present. This year we did over 135 when I go by the sign-in roster that we had to ask people to sign,
Yeah.
or guest book. We had 135 signatures on there, and there were people that I know didn't sign.
Yeah.
And then the toys, I don't have a dollar amount yet. We're still working on accumulating that, but there was definitely more toys this year.
That's
Awesome.
That's very cool. So, do you guys deliver the toys, or do they someone else? You guys give it to somebody and they take it to the place where the kids are?
We partner with the Detroit Hispanic Development Center.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the Detroit Hispanic, Development Corporation.
Okay.
And they have a list of over 300 kids.
Mhm.
And they work with a couple other organizations to make sure that these toys get out to the kids.
Yes.
This year, what we also did, my chapter, is we took some of the board games, a couple of the TVs that were donated. Dedication Car Club donated 14 TVs,
Wow.
among other things.
Yes.
But we took some of those TVs and some of the board games and some of the other things, and we're working with a cancer hospital downtown in Detroit, and we're going to donate that stuff to
nice.
the hospital. So that we will be giving out to them. That's something different that we did this year.
Yeah.
In the years past, we just went with the DHDC. This year, we're spreading the wealth a little bit.
Yeah. So your club and other clubs, I noticed with the lowrider community, it's really family orientated. You guys really, it's all about family, right?
The lowrider community?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, because I see the videos and things like that, and the kids are in the car, and everybody's just cruising, having fun.
Yes.
And our clubs and that do the same thing, but it just seems like the lowrider community, it's all about just giving back. I would say, because you're giving back.
Yes. So something the lowriders traditionally throughout the country, I could be wrong. I feel that the lowriders stress it a little more than other car cultures, and that's because lowriding lowriding has a bad rap when you look at the history of lowriding.
Yeah. Right.
So a lot of the
Yes.
lowriders, throughout the decades, have made it a real focus to focus on the family aspect,
Right.
the legal aspect, to kind of curve that perception.
Right.
I know there's been a big push, California, New Mexico, and a couple other states. There has been a real big push lately because they're starting to deal with getting a lot of these no cruising bans. That
Yes.
a lot of these states repealed.
Right.
And that's been a big push. I could talk a lot about that too.
Yeah.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but
Well, they're trying to, do it on Woodward and Royal Oak all the time. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Ban it.
Royal Oak
ban
is
that
the
type of
worst.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyways. Yeah.
So why would they do something like that? Is there problems or?
so it goes back. So I can't speak for everywhere.
Right.
I can speak for where I'm from, out in San Diego, California. In National City, California, they in the 90s, the police created the ordinance that was the no cruising ordinance, and it was because they were blaming the lowriders that were cruising on Highland Boulevard or Highland Avenue for the violence that was going on.
Oh,
but
okay.
as everybody knows, especially those of us who've been dealing with the flex recently, when you got a good thing, you attract the good and the bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So that's
100%.
what happened on Highland Avenue. You have the gangbangers that want to come out and cause trouble. You
Right.
have troublemakers,
Yeah.
not necessarily gang members, but just troublemakers,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You got knuckleheads
Yeah.
of every race, religion, doesn't matter. They came out, they were causing trouble. The police blamed it on the cruising. The police blamed it on the lowriders.
Right.
And they enacted this ordinance. So if you were caught, I want to say it's 2 or 3 times passing the same pointed location,
Yeah.
you could get your vehicle impounded and you go to jail or
Yeah.
get a ticket for cruising.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was enacted in, I want to say 92, 93. And it lasted all the way up until this year, when the United Lowrider Coalition out of California fought first in National City to get
Yeah.
that repealed, and then it was repealed California-wide.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
So I can't remember the name of the penal code. It's AB something.
Yeah. Yeah.
My father was actually part of the United Lowrider Coalition with some other friends that,
Yeah.
that headed that and got that repealed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised it was that, late. I figured it was more like in the late 60s, early 70s when they did a lot of those cruising bans,
Maybe in other places. I know the one in particular that I'm speaking of was enacted in the 90s.
Okay.
But I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Cruising goes back to, the 40s and 50s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I was telling Dean, and then, I don't know, Livi probably heard me talking about that a little bit too, that, do you can follow that guy 46 to 64 on Instagram yet?
Say again?
46 to 64 car history.
No.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
He's a younger guy, and he's cataloging like basically all the custom painters and the lowriders.
okay.
And
I think I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh,
He's kind of a young guy.
yeah, he's got a neck tattoo.
Yeah, and
right
he was,
here.
one of his videos was talking about Ron Aguirre,
Yep.
which, for the record, that wasn't the first lowrider. It was the first custom car on hydraulics.
Yes, I agree.
But
with
it was
that.
not the first lowrider. Lowriders go back to 40s, 50s.
Yeah. So, but I think he's doing a really good service from the standpoint of trying to catalog a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of these guys they're passing on, and we all know the big names, you know,
Yeah.
Bill Hines, Gene Winfield, Barris, all that stuff. But we want to get these other guys out here that actually laid that paint, did that stuff, you know, and or who was putting the first hydraulics and who was doing this and who was doing that. You know, we're losing their history every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And like I was saying to you earlier about those cars like that, there's got to be tons of cars still in garages.
Oh, yeah.
Custom paint jobs. They just haven't been out in the public. Nobody
Well, there's a
knows.
lot just here in Detroit.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of lowriders from the 90s that haven't been out probably since the 90s.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like you want to see those again. Just get them out. But a lot of those guys are older now. They don't. They don't get out as much.
Well,
Like me.
it's I think it's coming to another generation too. You know, that's kind of what you guys talked about in the last podcast, where there's kind of a resurgence now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, are you guys seeing that out there?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, Flex, it seems like brought a lot of people out that maybe we hadn't seen in a long time.
From the
too.
way Flex started to what it is now, absolutely. I mean, because we went from 20, 30 cars to hundreds.
Yeah. And
I mean, the last one when he was he was away, oh my God, it was just like, I couldn't even tell you how many steps I had done that day.
Yeah.
I got called a few choice names, but whatever, it is what it is, I'll accept it.
Yeah.
Try to keep the peace, and
Yeah.
it ended up, that was, my God, over 200 that night, so
Yeah.
definitely worth it.
And I'm trying to get my nephew down there. No, my nephew goes to CCS right now. He's in
Okay.
automotive design.
Yes.
And then we have my girlfriend has I call him my nephew basically now too. But he's 16. He's into the car thing. You know, he's got a '86 BMW, but I'm trying to get him down there to see that stuff too, to get him more influenced. And then same thing with my nephew, because I mean, he's going into design.
Yes.
You know, and honestly, a lot of the designs they suck.
Yeah,
So I'd rather
agreed.
have him get a little more
Agreed.
into. Try to figure out, even if it's just color and stuff like that, because there's just so many.
Yeah, there's nothing like a
beautiful-
classic.
Oh yeah, paint jobs too.
Well,
and
the
all that.
deal with the Flex too, the amount of people that it reaches, I don't think we realize this summer, or this September, I was in for Frankenmuth for the Auto Fest.
I missed it. No one.
I had not gone, and I was walking around. There was a young man that had a red and black 55, and I
okay.
questioned him on a paint. He says, "I know you." I looked at him. I said, "You do?" He says, "You have a black and white 55, don't you?" He says, "I know you from Flex." I'm thinking, who the hell are you?
Yeah,
Then he
it
started
happens.
naming other individuals that I knew.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. I don't know if he had ever gone. That wasn't the question, but I thought it was really cool because here
Yeah.
I am. I'm Googling his car, asking him
Yeah.
questions. He's like, I know you.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
That's how me and him met.
Yeah.
In person finally.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
we followed each other on Instagram, and he walked up and he was like, "You're Darrell," and I was like, "Who are you?"
Oh, nice, nice.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I got a question for Angelo.
Yes.
Friday Night Flex. How did you guys come up with that name?
Okay, so all right. Okay, so when the first night me and Ruben met, he was in the car with another buddy of ours that started with us, Will.
William
And
Krajenke.
Will was from the east side, I was from the west side. And me and Will would talk on the phone. We met a few weeks before Auto Round.
Mm-hmm.
And when we met, we rode up to Woodward. Will had a 94 Fleetwood.
Yeah.
And his Fleetwood was gold with golden chrome wheels. I had my Lincoln is like cream with gold wheels. So when we first met each other, we went up to the gas station, and then we went and parked, and then we hit it off immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
from there, we became really good friends. So every day we were on the phone. We were both truck drivers, so
Yeah.
we were on the phone every day talking about, hey, I can't wait till the weekend come. Can't wait till the weekend come. So we started cruising together every weekend. And then maybe the third weekend, I called my uncle and a few of my cousins, you know, like, hey, man, let's go cruising. And then at that moment, that's when I met Ruben. Ruben was in the car with Will.
Yeah.
And it started from 2 Lowriders, and it was a deuce and a quarter, a few Fleetwoods, and my uncle's Dodge Dakota.
Okay.
And Big J from he had a Camaro. And we just cruised through downtown and just had a good time. And every weekend, we started cruising with a different group of 5 different other cars.
Yeah.
And it was like, for some reason, the number just kept being 5.
Yeah.
And then one weekend, we ran into a few photographers, and the photographers said, hey, can we shoot pictures of the cars?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We made the location at the train station. And when I pulled up to the train station that day, it was like 20 cars.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And at that point, you know, me and Ruben was talking. It was like, you know, this is growing into something that we hope to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So from there, starting 3 years ago with 2 Lowriders, to have an event now with over 200 plus cars, we used to cruise, and then it got so big that you had people coming from Toledo, Saginaw, Flint.
Wow.
And
We've had people come from Maryland.
Really?
Yes.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm dead serious.
Wow.
What about the Lowrider semi?
I was going to
with the
say,
green?
even semi trucks.
He was from Indiana.
Wow.
He's originally from here, but he was from Indiana.
Yeah.
And was here. That is his workhorse.
Did he only show up that one night?
He did. He did. Yes.
I was lucky enough to be there that night. It was awesome.
So one of the
Okay, I got a quick question. That truck,
Yeah.
that semi, because I didn't see it. What color was it?
I don't even remember.
It was
It's
like
white with
it was
green
white
lights.
with green.
Yeah,
And
I just
had,
remember the
like
green
it had a
lights.
Because I
sound
met another guy.
sound system and everything.
There's an orange one too,
He actually owns more than one.
because there's an orange one around also.
No, he's from that the normal one that he drives was under construction, so that's why he was in that one. But he was here visiting family.
Okay.
In that.
Okay.
What
What color
one of
was
the-
the other one, Angelo?
There's I'm out driving trucks, and there's a guy that delivers out of Michigan sometimes too. He has a Peterbilt, great Peterbilt.
That's got to be him.
And
It's got to be.
Yeah.
It very well
he has
may.
the airbags and drops it
That's
right
him.
in the
Yes,
Wow.
That's
guaranteed.
him.
Guaranteed. That's him.
Does it
Yes.
does it have a chopped cab?
It has an extended catwalk. Yes, the cab is short.
That's
It is
him.
short. It's a studio.
I don't. Well, yeah, because he took like 6 inches out of the roof too, which is crazy. You know. I mean that thing's sweet.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and so when we started cruising around, we will always end up at a taco truck.
Yeah.
And this is how the taco truck really became a pillar in the flex.
Yeah.
So around that time, I just went through a divorce. When I was building my car, I was just going through a divorce. I had a few other personal tragedies that happened in my life. And at that point, me building this car, I was building it with my son because at this point, he stayed with me, so we were bonding that way of trying to heal some type of gap that we both had a void in.
Nice.
Me and my ex-wife were together 18 years, and my son decided, I'm going to stay with my dad. So when we started to build the car, I just wanted to be involved. My dad was a lowrider when I was younger.
Okay.
So I grew up in it, out here in the city. So I wanted my son to experience that. And at the time, I'm trying to just feel better from just taking body shots through life.
Right.
And one thing I kept saying is I have to flex on the old me. I got to flex on the old me.
Yeah.
I got to flex on the broken me.
Mm-hmm.
And Ironically, we kept cruising on a Friday,
Yeah.
and this is how the name Friday Night Flicks
Okay.
Stuff.
came about.
Yeah.
The three of us were sitting in an AutoZone parking lot,
Yeah.
and Angelo said it again. He said, "I'm flexing on the old me." And we used to call it the Friday Night Cruise.
Yeah.
I've got some of the first videos that we took, and you used to join us on the next Friday Night Cruise.
Yeah.
And Angelo said it that night at the AutoZone parking lot. I'm flexing on the old me. And I said, "That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
The Friday Night Flex."
And it
That's
fits.
And Angelo and Will both lit up, and they were like, "Oh, that's freaking tight."
Yeah.
And from then forward, it was dubbed the Friday Night Flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say about this community, because I'm a part of Dedication Car Club.
Okay.
Okay.
We forgive him for that.
Wow.
Yeah, hey, we're still four-time Civil War champ. So, the thing is, me coming up in this community and seeing how it was when my dad was out,
Yeah.
and my dad had a lot of nice cars.
Mhm.
I'm not a rider like my dad is a rider. My dad is kind of like Ruben. He cares about the paint and everything on the car.
Right.
I want to have the highlight for the kids sitting in the car on the side of me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bang my car.
Yeah.
Try not to break it, but I'm
Yeah.
it's like when everybody gets together, your show cars and your street cars,
Mhm.
it's like the Avengers forming.
Yeah.
You're going to turn heads and people going to pull out their phones, and that's a good feeling. But
Yeah.
one thing that I can say about this community is they show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
In a drop of a dime with a phone call. Liv took my daughter to prom.
Yeah.
We try our best to show up for each other. And you have a few different clubs, and you do have your politics here and there. But
Yeah.
overall, we're still one big family in the 20-piece chicken nugget of the Motor City.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
And so
Yeah.
every weekend when we get together, these strangers became family.
Mhm.
And for 3 years now, we see each other. If a car breaks down, it's more than enough tools on deck,
Yeah.
extra parts and everything just to get somebody back on the road.
Hell yeah. And I was just on Facebook, I noticed just like a couple weeks ago, you guys still all got together down there because the weather was nice. So
Yes.
Yeah.
weather's nice. You guys head on down there
Yeah.
and hang out. I'm sure you still get a pretty good turnout because a lot of people already have their cars put away.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
Well,
awesome.
the
You guys-
flex is officially over. We still get together and
Yeah.
hang out,
Yeah.
but the flex is officially over for the
We
season.
kind of do like an impromptu flex.
Yeah, yeah, right.
While some people will still, it's the Friday night flex.
No,
it's not.
no.
The
No.
flex is over for the season.
Okay.
It's just
But
it's just the few that want to get together that don't want to
Let it
deal
go.
with this, don't want to let it go in
Yeah,
this damn
yeah,
weather.
So when does it start up?
it's every year. It's dependent on the weather.
Yeah.
But March, April timeframe.
Okay, yeah. So, and I saw on Facebook you have that new, I don't want to say a flyer. You sent me a picture of it. That picture of the Friday Night Flex.
There's a new flyer every week for
Really?
the Friday night flex.
No, but you sent another one that said something. It was in red writing in one corner and the other corner, like
Oh, that's the logo.
the logo.
The
That's
Friday
right.
Night Flex logo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what does it say in those two?
No drift, no burnouts, and no drama.
No drama. Yeah,
No drama, no burnouts.
yeah that's awesome because you probably get stuff like that. People coming down
Oh,
there.
yes, we do.
So, and with the flex, the goal is we want to provide a fun, safe environment where we can all hang out, get
Yeah.
together, network, socialize, flex on our old selves,
Yeah.
and just network.
Right.
You know?
And how is it that going? You guys parking down there by the train station? Is there any issues with the city, the police, or anything like that?
Yes.
There is. They don't like. Do they? They don't like it, or
The city wants everything done a certain way. So,
right.
in order to gather in mass, they want permits.
Yeah.
right?
So traditionally, we don't block off the road. Traditionally, we leave space for cars to utilize the roadway.
Is that a main road? That's not really a.
No.
It's not like a side
No,
street.
but
It's a side street.
It doesn't matter when
Right,
the police
right.
are called. There's certain criteria they're looking for and certain things they have to say.
Yeah.
Right.
And when they come out, they're looking for: are you blocking the roadway? Are you
Yeah.
causing trouble? Are you this? Are you that?
Right.
And without even knowing, they're going to go off of what was said in that phone call.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
yes. Right.
They hear, they hear a bunch of cars getting together, first thing these cops are going to think is it's a pull up and park. You know, in Detroit, you have a lot of these unsanctioned pull up and parks.
Yeah.
And the Flex has really, I've made it. We're really trying to distinguish ourselves from the pull up and parks. That's not what we are. And for all those watching and listening, we are not a pull up and park. Save the drama.
Yeah.
Keep it somewhere else. Not bagging on the pull up and parks.
Yeah.
They're just a different vibe.
Right.
I won't say they cater to a different crowd, but they're a different vibe.
Right.
The Flex is organized. It's no burnouts. You know, we don't say anything about people revving their engines, but we don't. If you're revving it too crazy, we don't really like that,
Right.
because you're
Right.
causing unnecessary noise and drama.
Yeah.
That can be frowned upon, especially if we're in a residential area.
Which it is kind of.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, there are a
People
few
there.
homes
But
there.
Yeah.
the people that attend the Flex have been very receptive. You have had some people come in and do some burnouts, and then you've had either myself or Livi or our buddy Joe or a couple of other people, Angelo, a couple other people that have helped out, you know, with staffing, have gone over there and been like, hey, you know, don't do that. And oh, my bad, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Right. Right.
So going back to the police question, we're really trying to distinguish ourselves from the pull-up at parks and work with the police and let them know, hey, listen, that's not us. We're a different type of
Right.
crowd. We're family
Right.
friendly. You see the kids out here. You see people in lawn chairs
Right.
hanging out next to the cars. It's a different purpose, a different vibe.
Now, would you ever think about trying to get permits for that, or make that your?
We're working on that now.
Yeah, okay.
We have to look into it more.
Yeah.
Get more details. And we're working right now with a few different entities and organizations.
Right.
To try to work out the details.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you guys have a lot of different clubs show up for this too.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
clubs, not solo riders.
Yeah.
We've had motorcycles down there. We've had a few not race cars,
Yeah.
but like muscle type
Right,
cars.
right.
Obviously the semi. There's different things. I mean, just different runs.
Slingshots.
Yeah,
Slingshots,
slingshots.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So what started out as the Lowrider Hangout
Mm-hmm.
has grown into everything. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
We open it up to everything, but it has a special place in our heart as Lowriders.
Right,
It started as the
right.
Lowriders, and it's really the only weekly hangout that the Lowriders have.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, I knew the culture was out there myself, you know, of that. I mean, obviously, I tend to hang around more with the hot rod guys, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, so does your club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know I knew Detroit had somewhat of that culture, but I didn't realize it was as big as it is.
Oh, it's
And,
huge.
and what I
Yeah.
like to see, and then what Nick and the guys were talking on your previous
Yeah.
podcast, it's like I was saying earlier, it seems like there's more of a resurgence now. You know,
Yeah, and
guys
that's
are
part
pulling
of
cars
what,
back out and everything else.
that's
Yeah.
part of what me, Angelo, and Will, and Livy, and a bunch of the other people that are now involved with the Flex.
Yeah.
That's one of our focuses. You know, we're trying to bring the old lowriders out the garage,
Yeah.
out the
Right.
house. You know, bring new lowriders in and just kind of grow the culture.
Yeah.
That's another reason why we opened it up, because we bring the hot rod guys out, the
Right.
low rod guys, the rat rod guys. You guys have resources that we don't have,
Right.
or that we've lost, or that aren't available at the time, or whatever. Right?
Right, right.
You
Yeah.
can share resources.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too, which I've stated many a times, and you have too. I mean, we act like I call you guys my brother club.
Right,
You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
you guys are. I
Yeah.
mean, and I mean, so is Dead Last and all those other guys. You know,
Yeah.
those are our brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys have welcomed us into that too.
Right.
I mean, we really appreciate that. You know.
Hell yeah.
I hope you guys feel the same way. I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You guys
It's,
are
it's
all
kind of the better part too, though, is
Okay, so the thing is, I don't know what you guys go through in your day to day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I know you feel good when you go out to that garage.
Oh
and
yeah.
You
Oh,
touch
yeah.
on that car, you wrench on the car, you wash the car, and you're just happy. So even if it's a project or a car that's fully done,
Mm-hmm.
everybody still shares the same passion.
agreed.
Right.
Mhm.
So when you out there amongst each other, it gives you good ideas. It
Right.
gives you comfort, and I feel like what we're doing it for is for a piece of ourselves, but also to pass down to our kids
Yep.
something that they can take over from one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would love to go ahead and give my kids. I have a few vehicles. I would love to give my kids each one of my cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
So I didn't,
But I started off with bikes also.
Angelo, I don't know if I asked you this question or you mentioned it or you said this, but who was your biggest influence in getting into the car scene?
Well, my particular car, or just getting back into lowrider?
Just get it from the beginning, like when you were growing up. When did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
So my dad started off with a 79 Mark 7,
Okay.
and then he had a 75 Caprice Classic convertible that was candy pink.
Wow.
But when at night it turned fuchsia.
Mm.
Then he had a 93 Fleetwood that changed 8 different colors.
Wow.
Everything that was wood grain inside the car, flip colors.
Yes.
Okay.
Rims flip colors. And then he had a 64 Impala convertible. That was
Nice cars.
Blue and white.
pearl white diamond,
Yep.
blueberry top,
Yep.
Wow.
Blue and
blue
white.
suede and ostrich interior, digital dash, and digital air ride.
Wow. That sounds beautiful.
Which I have a Vegas story when we went to the Vegas Super Show with Show and Go about Dad's car.
You want to tell it?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
had a transporter and Angelo's was up on the top deck. His dad's name is Angelo, not this
Okay.
Angelo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So senior, he had his on the top deck, and someone cut the transporter cut his brake line.
Accidentally.
Yes.
Yes.
But it leaked on the G body that was below him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So with that being said, there were a few individuals. Now we got to get this. Big Angelo was in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
The only brake he had was the e-brake
Yeah,
type
yeah.
on a 64.
Yeah.
Needless to
At
say,
least he had that.
yes, but
Because half of mine
no.
are cut.
Right, because not only did he have to get it off the top deck, we had to make sure we didn't hit the cement partition that covered the trash cans
Oh, right.
behind the hotel we were staying. So now all these guys that we're with are literally using their muscle to stop the car.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it didn't get messed up. So when Angelo mentioned about his dad being like Ruben,
Yeah.
about paint and everything, that was, I wouldn't want to be him in that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the problem. Yeah.
No.
Paint causes stress.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yes. Very
Wow.
much.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to get there soon enough, though. I know.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. I got a question to ask.
I didn't hear Livy's history of cars.
I thought we did. We talked about how she got into the scene.
Yeah, I didn't.
I thought we. How did you? I thought we talked about how you got into the car
No.
scene when you. Oh,
No.
Well,
are you gonna block me
know.
on
so far it
Facebook?
was just how Angelo got in the scene.
Okay. Okay, Livy.
I actually got into it back when I was 19. My ex-husband he's a very talented guy, but sometimes I'll tell him and I'll tell him to his face he's a waste of talent.
I tell Peggy that every day. She's a comedian.
I'm able to still
Sorry.
ask him to this day for help. Anything that I don't know, I'll call him, I'll call my dad. My biggest influence in cars has been my dad because my dad has wrenched on cars since he was a teenager.
Right.
Riding motorcycles came from him. Definitely a tomboy.
Yeah.
Love it. And I can be a girly girl, but I can get greasy with the best of them.
Yeah, yeah.
I've owned quite a few different lowriders over the years. Of all, I say I'm in retirement because the 55 has been by far my favorite.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I kind of don't want to go anywhere else with it.
Right, right.
So, dream car is a 49 Merc. I have considered giving the pink slip for the 55 if I found a
Really?
nice one.
Wow.
Yeah.
For all your viewers.
Yes. and
All
Peggy-
six.
Peggy,
Yeah, right. All 6 of my viewers. All 2.
I know why I didn't ask that question because when we were upstairs, you were talking about that,
Yes.
and that's why I missed that.
No, that's okay.
That's why when people come over for a podcast, we shouldn't talk about anything because then I get down here and it's like, I'm thinking we already talked about that.
Yes,
You know
no.
what I mean? So sorry about
No,
that.
that's okay.
But it's hard when we do that because, like,
Yeah.
I say the same thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, we got to stop talking about
Yeah,
it. But
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I do good, Peggy?
I think you did good.
So we're gonna move on to a question. First car.
My first. So, I got into low riding from my dad.
Yes.
So I have a more and I'm getting at my first car. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So I got into
Tell
low
that
riding
story.
from my dad.
Right.
So I have a more traditional view when it comes to low riding.
Mhm.
There's a lot of new school stuff that's coming out that
Yeah.
you know a lot of us traditionalists don't agree with, right? Because
Okay.
it's not low riding. It's
Right.
It's not traditional low riding, I should say. Anyways, that being said, I did not start traditionally.
No.
I had first of all, 4-doors are no-goes. Unless the car did not come in a 2-door model. Then 4-doors are
Acceptable.
a little more accepted.
Thank you.
So, my first lowrider was a 1986 4-door. So I was wrong because it was a 4-door, and I was
Yeah.
wrong because it was a Ford. It was a Ford Crown Victoria.
Oh, wow.
And you know, in the lowrider community, Fords they're frowned on.
Oh, really?
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why is that?
The ones that are accepted,
You hear
you
Angelo?
hear Angelo coughing in the background.
He's got a Lincoln though.
The
doesn't he?
Fords
he
that are
does.
Yeah,
accepted
he's got a
are
Lincoln.
Lincolns.
Yeah, it's kind of foreign.
However, that's a little newer. Early 2000s, they were frowning on Lincolns because, like I said, my first was a 86 Ford Crown Vic, and then my next one was a 92 Lincoln Town Car.
Okay.
And I remember driving around San Diego, and there weren't very many at the
No.
time.
Okay.
And I would drive around with my Lincoln Town Car,
Yeah.
and people would give me crap. And
Jeez.
you know, my buddies with G bodies and everything, I was getting crap everywhere, and I was
Yeah.
like, "This car looks dope. I don't know what you're talking about, but
Yeah, right,
I would
right.
get shit on."
What year
Because
was that Crown Vic again?
The Crown Vic was in '86.
86. Okay, so it was the box style.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I had to
I almost
picture in
got
my head.
shot because I was driving it through an alley, and they thought I was the police.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is that why it's frowned upon? Because it's
Yeah.
their typical. No. Okay.
It's frowned on because it's a Ford and it's a 4-door.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And there are certain clubs that won't even plaque cars if you have a Ford.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I didn't
yeah.
know it was that big of a deal.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Interesting.
So,
Okay.
Livy, what was your first car?
actually a '92 Chevy Blazer, 4-door. However, I could 3-wheel that son of a bitch to the point the person in the back seat was touching the ground.
Oh, my God.
Yes, 14
Yeah.
batteries, 10 switches, and had a blast. I remember being down in Wyandotte, Bishop Park. One of the girls, I was like, hold on, let me take you. Come on. I'm
Yeah.
showing her how to 3-wheel, and I literally come down and face to face with a damn Wyandotte cop.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was my. So the cop gave me justice. He pulls up next to me, says, "So I'm gonna think that you guys are showing off for all these guys,
Yeah,
not realizing
yeah.
one was my husband."
Yeah, right.
Okay, because I'm gonna let you go. If I see it again, I'm taking the truck. Bye.
Wow.
And I
See you
parked
later.
it.
Jeez.
But here I'm showing off, and I get in trouble. Damn it.
Right.
Angelo, your first car.
My first car was a 1990 Fleetwood
Oh.
apple cranberry with apple cranberry 13.
Nice.
And a funny story is, I was around my neighborhood, and I just decided to 3-wheel the intersection. And I didn't see a police officer sitting in the gas station. And he pulled me over. And when he pulled me over, I said, "Officer, before you say anything, wasn't that sweet?"
Yeah.
As he gives you your reckless driving.
He was like, hell yeah. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he started taking pictures, and
Yeah.
Okay.
you know,
He said,
was-
"So
my
you do
mom
know
was
why
a
I
cop
pulled
at
you
the
over."
time. My
Nice.
mom was a cop at the time, so
Oh.
he ended up letting me go. But most cops become fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now,
And I think with the younger guys that are coming up in the police force now, I think you're seeing a little more lenience in some of those
Yeah.
scenarios.
Oh, for sure. At one of a few of the flexes, there's been officers, and I'm looking like, okay,
I know, me too.
if I'm doing one of these, you
Right,
know, walking around,
yeah.
I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
trying to hide it.
Yeah.
What's that? You know, they're asking questions. So
Just
I
don't
mean,
do it in the green light district.
no, exactly. Yeah, there's a story for that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, yeah, it's just a matter of they are very much interested and they ask questions a lot. I think because they want to know.
Yeah.
They've seen it. They don't know enough about it. So
Yeah.
I tell them what I know.
Most people haven't seen low riding outside of movies and
Right.
Music videos. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
especially like when we get around a lot of these little kids,
Oh yes.
they've never seen one in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but even us as children would take a Hot Wheel car and start bouncing that Hot Wheel car.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got another question. What would you guys like to see happen in the future of the lowrider scene in Michigan? I mean, what do you? I know you probably want to get it bigger, get the word out, I would say, or
So, for me,
Yeah.
everywhere I go, I try because I'm military and I bounce
Yeah,
around.
right.
So everywhere I go, I try to elevate the lowrider community
Mm-hmm.
in the area that I'm at.
Okay.
So right now I'm in Detroit. God, I fought tooth and nail not to come here.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm
Thanks
from,
a lot.
I'm from Southern California. I didn't
I
want to
know,
come.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
I've been in the service for 18 and a half years. I've been stuck in the Northeast or
Yeah,
overseas
yeah.
my entire career. I'm trying to go back, California, Arizona,
Right.
Texas even. And that hasn't happened. So when they said, oh, I know we have 3 opportunities in Texas, but how about Michigan?
Yeah.
I fought it. But now that I'm here, I freaking love it here.
Good.
I love Michigan.
Wow.
And I've made it my goal to help as much as I can, as much as one person
Yeah.
can, elevate the lowrider community here
Yeah.
as I try to do wherever I'm at. And
Wow,
right
that's
now
awesome.
my focus is here. I'm
Yeah.
trying to bring that word out.
Mhm.
I know that we all have a little bit different goals and focuses
Yeah, yeah.
based on our personal experiences.
Right.
So I can only speak for myself. I'll let them
Right.
speak for themselves. But I know that a lot of us have also talked about maybe trying to, elevate the community and catch the ear again of some of the bigger organizations that put on some of these super shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get them to come back out this way.
Right.
That'd be
Nice.
cool.
Go ahead, Angelo or Livi.
I feel like what I would like to see moving forward is a lot of the younger people, younger kids, younger generation. I have
Yeah.
a 17-year-old son, and I want this to keep moving forward.
Right.
When I built my car for a few years, I couldn't find lowriders out in the streets. I used to literally drive around just to see if I could see one. And if I did see one, I got excited.
Yeah.
Now I want to see a lot more,
Mhm.
especially with the younger people, because now as I'm getting a little older,
Yeah.
I want to be able to give them the advice and the, I just feel like, I want to ride with a younger generation at this point and
Right.
be able to ride with the older generation all at one time.
Right.
My
Yeah.
dad literally came back out this year,
Yeah.
so he has a few vehicles, but I want to be able to ride with my dad and my son at the same time.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Very cool.
And we all share the same name.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Angelo the third. All right.
Yeah. Angelo.
So I would love to give my oldest son my Lincoln while I work towards my dream car, my forever car, will be a 67 Fastback.
Oh, hell yeah.
I just love the lines in that car.
Yeah.
But just to be able to ride with my father and
Mhm.
my son, but also my son is in the car world too with his friends. They just do the Chargers and the Mopars.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little too fast for me. I like to go low and slow.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
here, man. I'm getting too old for the fast stuff. But
I mean, I do have a Corvette, if I do want to go fast.
yeah. Right. Right.
BMW Alpina on the way, but it's just about looking at everybody's artistic views on what
Right.
they put into their cars.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everyone has a different perspective.
Mhm.
I like the positivity of everything that everyone we're around, because Ruben may have a different view than I do, than Angelo, than Darrell, than you,
Yeah.
Dean, anyone. I like it, and I like to be able to learn as much as I
Yeah.
can. And if I can teach, whether it be a young man, a young lady, something that I
Right.
know, why the hell not?
Right.
And to keep it going for the younger generation, because so much gets lost.
Yeah.
So the positivity of everything and just the camaraderie. I mean, a lot of the individuals that we are around, I actually like them better than some of my family.
Yeah.
I'll
Right.
admit, I don't care.
Yeah.
They become your family because you
Yeah.
get to hang out with them. You get to do things. When we did Autorama this year, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I went, why? Because you know what? I got to hang out for 3 days with everyone that I do only on Fridays.
Mhm.
We didn't have to worry. We were around our cars. We were around our family.
Yeah.
We didn't have to worry about the damn weather.
Right. Right.
That was the best.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, tell me
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Chill.
Tell me
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
And,
So,
and look, and I don't mean to cut you off, Liv, but we're grandparents now.
yes, yes.
And Liv, grandchild has a lowrider stroller.
Yes.
Mine has a 50s pedal car.
Yes.
I just built a lowrider wagon for my godson.
Nice.
Well, I
Yeah.
actually came across by one of the guys that I hang around. He had gotten it at a estate sale. It was a 1950s Taylor Tot. It was blue and white.
Okay.
And I had two other individuals that for my daughter's baby shower, that was the last gift she got. It literally was hand delivered to me a half an hour before,
Wow.
painted
Nice.
to match Sleepwalk,
Wow.
black and
Nice.
white.
That's awesome.
And I
Yeah.
have progression pictures, and I fell in love with it when I saw it.
Yeah.
So she tells me it's my gift. It's for me.
Right.
Yeah, it is, but whatever. No, it's something like, I told her when, God forbid, I'm no longer on this earth, the car is hers.
Yeah.
Now it's going to him.
Nice. Yeah.
Now it's his.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I tell a quick story about that?
Let's make it quick, Bill. This is my show. Remember? No, you're
But
fine.
just on that subject, so I put together a wagon. I've had this wagon for years. I got
Yeah.
in a trade at a swap meet years ago, and wanted to make it my swap meet wagon, make it into a lowrider like it used to be. And like guys have to like take to the swap meets, and then my best friend and his wife, they're into cars, but they're into like 240s and things like that. So I'm like, I'm putting this together
Yeah.
for him for his first birthday because Uncle Darrell's going to give him, the hot rod, the custom side
Yeah.
of this, And so our good buddy Patrick
Yeah.
painted it after I put it together, showed up at the party, and I should have known that, and not trying to pat myself on the back, but then of course everybody just like flew over it, But then the best part was they said that he was pretty close to walking right during his birthday. He's walking
Yeah.
now, which is only a month ago. But they said when they put that thing down in the living room, and when he got home, that was the first thing he crawled to. He didn't care
Nice.
about any of his other toys. And he's somewhat vocal, so he can say vroom vroom.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So he goes, it almost made me cry at that point. She goes to me, she's like, he pointed at it, went vroom vroom, went and sat in it, and then he was trying to steer it with the handle himself. And I was
nice.
like, perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Wow.
expect that. I was like, he won't care about this thing for years. And
Yeah.
then, but he loved it right away. So I don't know. We got to keep inspiring the kids a
Yeah.
little
Oh,
bit.
for
though,
sure.
Yeah.
Now he's a car guy.
Yeah.
I've even tried to think of how I can place my grandson because he's so damn small.
Yeah.
We call him Chunk. Like he's far from Chunk, but I want to see how I can get him in the Taylor Tot for Autorama next year.
Yeah.
So if you keep an eye out.
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Livy, you had a good story you were talking earlier about Ruben.
Yes,
You want to tell that story?
Does Ruben want you to tell that story?
Yeah.
I'm sure he does not. However, I love you, Ruben. Let me just start off with that. Ruben does not pride him. He doesn't put out there that he was an MMA fighter. He's very easygoing. I've never had an issue with him. Love him to death. Hang out all hours of the night, damn near it seems. We did Autorama, and there was one individual that was in a lowrider class with a Chrysler 300. In our opinion, a airbagged car. The paint was decent.
Yeah.
I
Lambo
really
doors.
like the paint.
Yeah.
The paint was nice. Paint
Yeah,
was
really
nice.
good paint.
Yeah.
Did it? Okay.
The
But
paint
he
was
had
low rider
rims.
quality, but the whole airbag with the no.
With the giant rims.
The
Yeah,
big
yeah.
rims, the airbags, the Lambo doors, we lost it. So, needless to say, a few of us walked over, and Ruben basically was like getting into the gentleman as to how a lowrider should be.
Really?
And let me just say that MMA side, oh yeah, my sister was holding him back.
Oh, shit.
Ruben didn't give a shit about nothing. He was ready to pounce
he
on
walked
this
in there
guy.
first.
He did. No,
Yeah.
he did. He was a jerk,
Wow.
and we're not going to give him that much credit. But yeah, let me just say that MMA side. Oh yeah, I saw a whole different Ruben. But you know what? I can appreciate it because what we do is not something to be taken lightly. I mean, there's a lot of money invested in our vehicles.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't care if you have patina. I don't care if you have the glossiest damn paint. How much flake? Anything doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're all different levels, and we're all we're all in it for the same game.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you have someone come in, and that certain individual was at another show and put himself in the lowrider class, he got pulled out.
Disclaimer: I don't count my truck as a lowrider. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I always say I follow more of the mini trucking.
It's a common
Yeah.
misconception because a lot
Yeah.
of people will say, "Oh, I have a lowrider,"
Yeah.
and they don't. They have a
Right.
car that is low.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
Yes.
what my
A lowrider
truck
is a
would be.
car that is low, but a car that is low is not necessarily a low rider.
Right.
They're regardless of what a lot of the newer generation thinks. Not anything can be a lowrider. There is criteria. I understand there's no written book, but that's just because nobody's sat down, in the 40s and the 50s and wrote down
Right.
what is a lowrider. So
Yeah.
that's the big comeback that a lot of people come back with.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm passionate about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
And that was one of my
that's a big-
questions. What makes a lowrider a lowrider?
Well, that's one of the big topics. People
Yeah.
will say, "Oh, there's no rules for this.
Yeah.
Nobody says where's the rule book. Tell me
Right.
where the rule book is."
Yeah.
A lot of people will come at you with that. Well, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you
Exactly.
don't,
Right.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
because
100%.
you're not a real lowrider.
Right, right.
Exactly.
So
And altered suspension does not, I mean, we have so much invested in hydraulics,
Yeah.
airbags. People do it because they don't want the maintenance of a hydraulic system.
Yeah.
Yes, they're both messy, but in my opinion, if I'm gonna have a vehicle with air ride versus hydraulics, I'm gonna go for hydraulics. Why? My simple reason, I can go to a Home Depot, I can go to Parker's, something like that where I can get a hose, a fitting.
Right.
Who the hell's gonna bring you an airline the length of your vehicle?
Yeah, right,
I mean,
right.
come on.
That's why you carry him with you. Ask me how I know. Yeah. Actually, I've never had an airline. I had a bag pop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I've
that's
had that.
understandable.
Yeah.
I don't do bags. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Bags are no. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I don't do bags, but I have heard that they're actually fairly easy to change out on the side of the road if you have the spare parts.
It depends on what you have.
Agreed.
Okay. So
Agreed.
I've got Ride Tech struts up front.
Okay.
Okay. I can't change that out. That's one that popped. Now, my bags in the back are just regular, just like pancake bags.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Probably 6 bolts and an airline. Unscrew the airline or whatever. As long as I've got the wrenches to do it and a jack, I could probably do that. I'd probably pull it off.
And the technology's come a long way.
Oh, for sure.
I remember when I was younger.
Yeah.
It was up and down.
Yeah.
Nowadays they're getting these cars to hop with
Yes.
bags.
They are.
where they couldn't before.
Yeah.
Right.
So I give them credit. The technology has advanced. But
Yeah. But at the
there's
same,
still nothing like juice.
oh yeah, no. Well,
It's
and then
just,
I
it's
think
just a different realm.
yours and mine, and then your views as well. So I've always just been I'm a big historian, I guess, just in general. I love World War II, all that junk, But I've always followed the custom culture from that standpoint, as from different aspects of it too. But it's all, what I've always loved is like everything came from the same place, kind of. You know what I mean? Because you had
The human mind. No.
well, no, I'm just saying the hot rod guys fed off, the custom culture guys fed off like what you guys do. You guys fed off some of that. It all kind of started in one
It all
central
relates,
area.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, coming back to the family aspect of us doing what we do, I mean, I feel like we all are in the same family. And I was just going to say, I think my views on what a lowrider is and what your views. I mean, you're obviously more of the expert than I am, but I feel like potentially you'd respect what I'd have to say on that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Because guys, listen, I've been getting that for years, all right? Guys are like, oh, lowrider truck. Yeah, it's not, but yeah, whatever you want to say. Go ahead. I'm going to run with it,
Right.
But I never claimed to be that. So, yeah.
Well, the funnier part for me, the first time I had done Autorama with the 55,
Yeah.
these 2 older gentlemen came over and they were talking amongst themselves. And she's ruined that vehicle. She's ruined her vehicle.
Yeah, I hate those
She's ruined
people.
her vehicle. I said,
Yeah.
excuse me. I have to be that bitch. I'm sorry.
No, you need to be.
I literally walked up. I said, I'm sorry. I ruined what? You ruined your vehicle. I said, you said it was mine, right? He says, yeah. I said, can I ask you one question? He says, sure. I said, did I reach in your pocketbook and ask for your check to build this? He says, no. I said, thanks, Pops. Keep it going.
Yeah.
And he kind of just looked at me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know the history of my car. Everything's been done in my garage for the most part.
Yeah.
I've even changed out the damn engine. So the fact that I can sit there and talk to a gentleman about that, I think I may shock them, intrigue them. I don't know, but I'll take it.
Speaking on that, I will say that was one thing that surprised me about Detroit coming here. I hit a lot of shows. During the season, I'm out. I don't care what kind of show it is.
Yeah.
I'm out at something. You know, including, you know, I drive my car too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just a show guy.
right.
I love the shows, but I love to drive my car.
Yeah.
I got a street car with show quality. Is what I like to say. But anyways, I was at a show. Can't remember which one or where, but I had this little old lady come up to me and start asking me questions. You know, and you get that at all the shows.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it. You know, oh, you know, what's this? Oh, how'd you do this? Oh, did you do this yourself? Blah blah blah. But she starts asking about the engine, and I too, you know, rebuilt my own engine, not knowing what the hell I was doing. I watched about 100 hours of YouTube.
Yeah.
But nobody would touch it, so I had no choice but to do it myself. So with that, I was able to answer her questions. Then she starts asking me transmission questions and about the gear ratios and this and that. And finally, I was like, "Listen, lady, I'm sorry. I have a TH350, and obviously you know more than I do about transmissions."
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I used to build transmissions for GM.
No shit.
And I was like, oh, but I noticed there's a lot of that here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not used to that.
I think because we're the Motor City, there's so much involved with different cars. That's
But it's like,
yes.
it's
Well, everybody's got
it's-
somebody that worked for the
Exactly.
manufacturer side.
Exactly.
yeah.
Either-
but for
either-
here, it's more uncommon to find somebody who doesn't know
Yes.
than it is uncommon to
Right.
find somebody
Yes.
who does.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And what's funny about that too is that came up in a podcast I was listening to earlier, and I'm not sure which one, but it's like we're spoiled. We are because we have, you know, we've got the designers that you guys potentially met that design your car,
Yes.
design your car, design your car, you know, mine, whatever, you know, just among us, and we have no idea, you know, and some have passed on, some haven't. But then if you take that designer to another part of the country and someone who is idolized, you know, for idolize them for what they did, you know, designing here in Detroit, you know, we've got right next door probably.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we're spoiled. I say that all the time.
Right.
And then on top of that, then you get the guys on the line that you know that worked on the line, and they're like, yeah, I put that piece of trim on all the time.
Right,
You know,
right.
I know how to take that off. you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
And but so you've come from a whole different part of the country, isn't that? It's interesting though. Isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's man, not to you know, brown nose or nothing, but the lowriding culture, you know, it's bigger in California. It's the Mecca, right?
Yeah.
But gosh darn, I'm trying not to cuss. The auto community in general, right? Not putting in its niches of, you know, lowrider, hot rod, this, that.
Right.
The auto community in general is so vast here.
Yes.
It's almost embedded in everybody's daily life, in everybody's
Oh, yeah,
hobby,
yeah.
one way or another.
Yeah.
You know, it blew my mind. It's
Yeah.
astonishing, you know. And I was a car guy when I came here, but it has strengthened my
Yeah.
car guy-ness, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's
just,
enhanced it.
yeah, it's.
Welcome to
I
Motor
was
City.
impressed.
Yes.
Yeah,
I definitely
yeah.
was impressed.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, you guys do autos right here. You know,
There's-
I've learned a lot too. You know,
Yeah.
just being here, because you can have those conversations with little old ladies. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
and it's like, gosh, damn.
Oh, there was one flex that we were at. I don't know if you recall. We were closer to the building, and there were individuals that had come. They were from overseas, England, somewhere where lowriders are not legal. To
Oh.
have our vehicles the way we have them, they can't pass an inspection. They are not legal. I
I
said,
know
well, why?
Germany's like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Maybe it was Germany, but they were there and they were just like literally, get in it. What? Get
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
Get in the
You're not
damn
gonna
car.
break
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And it was just the cutest thing, because you think we are so used to seeing it, they're banned from even having it in their
Right.
yard.
Right. Yeah.
So
I think those guys that come down to do something in Southwest Detroit, because one of the guys that was with that group is a guy I went to college with,
okay,
and he's from South Korea.
okay,
Yeah, and he's interesting. He builds cars and stuff like that too, and he was always building them when we were in college too. We had 2-car garages where we lived.
yes.
So and the landlords hated us. We're in there like running plasma cutters and stuff.
Yeah,
It was
right.
great. It was awesome.
It was great for you guys, not so much your
Yeah,
neighbors.
we're always like fuck management, you know. But anyway, it's because they were trying to, long story. But anyways, I think he was with them, and they were in, obviously he walks up to me, he's like, Darrell, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know, just hanging out. And he's like, I think they were with him, though.
Could
and
be.
they were amazed.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
were, and they were
Yeah.
taking pictures sitting in the cars. I mean, that is my thing that I love to show, whether it be, they've never seen it or they have.
Yeah.
There's little kids, because the biggest thing, I don't care if it's a boy or a girl, biggest thing for a child, get in.
Yeah.
Let me manipulate the switches.
Like when
Why?
we were at,
Yes, at the community one that we had done down the street.
Hey, we're back. We had a little bit of technical difficulty there with the computer, so we're gonna finish up the show here. Livi, you were saying you were talking about a story.
Yes, most recently we did a community event down at 21st and Bagley, and it was like a weekend of cultures. So we were at the Middle Eastern and Mexican event. We had the cars out. There were bagpipes that a bagpipe band that came and played.
That's cool.
And there was a bunch of children that came over. They were looking at my car. They were looking at Ruben's. They were looking at Will's. And Ruben let them get in, and he's manipulating the switches for them.
Right.
I let them sit in mine. I didn't do the switches only because I had to be in the driver's seat. So kind of just enjoyed mine. Will and Joe with theirs actually were hopping them, and Ruben as well. These kids were in awe.
I bet.
I literally, they had a line of kids. Okay, we're done. Now get out. Next.
Yeah,
Okay. And it was really cute because this, in my opinion, and I love doing it for this reason, I was once that child.
Yeah, right.
I was once that child because I love cars. But this is our future. So not only
Right.
do you give them a taste of something that they only see on movies or, passing by, things of that nature, but now it intrigues them to, hey, I want to do that. Or I'll have a child that will ask, well, that's really cool. What does it take to do that? First and foremost, stay in school.
Yeah, right.
And it's a never ending thing, because it doesn't matter how much you think you're done, you're never done with them.
No.
But
Right.
I like the aspect of teaching children regardless.
Yeah,
even
heck
adults,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
they some adults, they like it. They don't know what the hell they've done. They don't know what they've looked at.
Right.
And there's been quite a few times, you've probably heard it at Autorama or at different shows. Yeah, those are the air pumps that manipulate this and that. I'm like, no, they're hydraulics. Those are called cylinders. These are batteries.
Right,
or they
right.
look,
I actually had somebody ask me that at
Yes.
Autorama. Oh, is that your air ride?
yeah, no.
I don't have air ride.
Or the funnier part, and I don't know if you've ever heard this. Yeah, is this car an electric engine? I'm sorry, it's 68 years old. No, it has a 283 under the hood.
Yep.
These are to control my
Not yet.
suspension.
Yeah, right.
I'm good.
Yeah, right.
See,
I'll keep my carburetor all day long.
I get the opposite end of the spectrum where they think my truck's on hydraulics and it's on air. So.
Yes, yeah.
Like, hop it.
Yeah, Greg gets the same thing too, Yeah.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's I love it because you get people just actually when I left the toy drive, I came down Trumbull to get gas before I parked the car, and I leave the gas station. I got my window down, and this guy goes, "Hit the switches for me. I want to see it
Yeah.
hop." I'm like, "Bye."
Yeah.
So I mean, you get adults. In my opinion, I don't know how you do it, but I will manipulate the switches for a child more than an adult
Yeah.
because they appreciate it more. Not saying an adult doesn't,
Right.
but it's just something like I don't know.
The
It's just
kids
our
enjoy
future.
it a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
Right.
So-
Right.
I like to hit my switches for women and children.
Well, I'm okay with the women part, Angelo.
Yeah.
I'll do it for a guy first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it for the ladies. The guys, they actually hit your switch so many times every corner you pull up to. By the time you get to your destination, you done killed half your
Oh,
battery.
hell yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you're done.
I'll tell them it's not connected. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, my batteries aren't connected, so I can drive.
Yeah.
Well, my biggest thing is, they'll be three-wheeling, and here I am. I don't three-wheel. I don't hop. And they're kind of looking at me, and so as soon as I hit my switches, they're looking, I'm like, yeah, I can do it too.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just not sitting pretty, damn it.
Yeah,
Okay, I can do it too.
Right. Jeez.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna end the show right here, Peg? Are we good?
It's up to you, man.
Oh, well, I figured I'd bring up Autorama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up with Autorama. You guys are gonna be at Autorama this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's my
And then-
prerogative.
And just on the kids aspect of it too,
Yeah.
I didn't get to go there until I knew about the show. Again, we talked about that during our break. my parents would never take me to that type of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to go with my high school shop class, and that opened up a whole nother world for me.
For Autorama?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, and that was one of the years Chip Foose was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boyd had been there the year before, and obviously I've been watching American Hot Rod on TV. So I was like in awe. I'm like, I'm here with the big guys, like
Yeah.
that's really cool. But then, so the same thing, you guys are bringing that back upstairs, which is awesome because you get so many kids where their parents bring them to that show and they're not inspired by some of the stuff they
Right.
see.
Yeah.
So then they're going to come over to you guys and then see like, what, they're going to ask those questions. Why are they sitting like this? Why
Yes,
Yeah,
and they
so-
do.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
Lowriders were, from my understanding, they were there years ago.
Yes.
And then they kind of took a hiatus. And Joe Lane has really made an effort starting last year, 2022. Has made an effort to bring the Lowriders back and bring them upstairs.
Yes.
So 2023. Sorry.
Yeah.
Beginning
Autorama
of this year.
2023. So 2023 and 2024, Joe Lane has led the effort to get the Lowriders into Autorama upstairs
Nice.
and kind of put all that
Awesome.
together.
Yeah.
Because there was kind of a hiatus on the Lowriders being there at Autorama.
Yeah.
And we had, what was it, 11?
10 cars last year.
10 cars last year, and I want to say this year it's 20.
Yeah.
This coming
I
year
think
is
there's was 23 entries total between cars,
bikes
bikes,
and everything.
a dancing bed mini truck.
Oh, yes.
A
Dancing Pet.
Cholo style bike, which is it's kind of a newer offshoot within the Lowrider community, but it's the motorcycles, the specific style of
Yeah,
motorcycle.
yeah.
Oh, so it's actually a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't
So
know that.
there will be lowrider bicycles, the lowrider motorcycle, and again that's kind of the newer style, the
Okay.
newer offshoot. There will be a dancing bed mini truck, and then the cars.
So is it the lowriders that are going to be there? Is it people from the United States, from other states coming there, or is it just
There's
local lowriders?
There's going to be plenty of Michigan cars, but
Yes.
there's also I know for sure one of my club brothers from Toledo, Ohio. He's from the Toledo chapter.
Yeah.
Vince Flores, he'll be there, so he's from Ohio.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's anybody else from Ohio. I know there were 2 or 3 other entries who were
Yeah.
interested in coming from Ohio. Whether they came through, whether that came to fruition or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
And you're going to be there.
Yep. I'm working on
The
getting
Hood Rats will be there.
The Hood Rats are there. I got to get my paperwork in this week.
Yeah.
Our paperwork.
Yeah.
I kind of slacked on that, but I've had quite a few things going on.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to slam my car. Well, I'm trying to do a bunch of different stuff to my one car too. But anyways,
So what car are you having in there?
I'm gonna put the 54 back in.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna try to get Cliffy to paint the dash, and
Okay.
I've been just working on, and I'm trying to get that thing roadworthy, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you too. What was that show you went to over the summer too? Where was that?
Which one?
Well, the show, it was out of state.
Because there was a lot that I went to.
Okay. Well, it was one of the very last. It was in September, maybe, where you missed one of the flexes.
I went to, this year I missed 3 flexes.
Okay.
One I was in California,
Okay.
one I was in the Chicago Super Show, and one I was at the Vegas Super Show.
So probably Chicago, maybe. No, it would have been whichever one was in the fall. But your car was there
They
too.
were both, so
we have a
Chicago
problem.
Super Show was in the beginning of September, and the Vegas Super Show was at the end of September.
Okay. So
Vegas.
it was probably Vegas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, that looked really cool too. So.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Lowrider Magazine does there's 3 organizations that do super shows. There's the Midwest Wago Tour, Lowrider Magazine does Super Show Tour, and now there's Original Lowrider that does their Super Show Tour. And they're basically huge car shows that have, the $100,000 cars, $200,000 cars that come and compete. So the one in Chicago, I actually took first place for my category with my car. That was at
Congratulations.
Chicago.
That's awesome.
And then every year my club we have the Vegas Super Show that's mandatory for us.
Oh.
That's when we do our president's meetings and stuff like that. But we also have a lot of heavy hitters from our club that go there to compete for Lowrider of the Year.
Okay.
So I was at both Chicago and Vegas, and both in September.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Congratulations also.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Hard work pays off once in a while, right?
Yeah.
That's your show-worthy car.
It's my street car with some show quality.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right. That's awesome.
Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up. Greg Peterson, Hood Rats Car Club, thank you very much for getting this together. Appreciate it. And Darrell, thank you for co-hosting.
Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
Yep. Ruben, Livy, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for
Sorry we
having
had a little
us.
technical difficulties.
That's okay.
Hopefully Peggy can figure something out here. And
Don't forget to thank.
and Angelo, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm glad we hooked up with you on the phone. And you had some great stories. It was nice talking to you.
I'm here.
Yeah. And so we're going to end it on that. And thanks again, guys, for coming out.
Thank you.
Car scene with theme. This will be, well, I shouldn't say it because it'll be up on YouTube soon. I always say that, but it's not, no one's listening to it live. You know what I mean? So thanks again, everybody, for coming out. Car scene with Dean, episode 22.
Woo!